I told you. I hate to be that one to say I told you so, but I told you. I told y'all years ago that all the world had to do was lock these fools up in their bases or take control of their bases and it would be over for them. I don't have to go into the details and explain how and why. It's obvious, and if you can't understand it, then it would make no sense for me to talk to you anyway, because you couldn't comprehend anything that I'd be saying. But yeah, it's over. The world has decided to walk away from us economically. They don't want to deal with us financially in any sense of the matter. I mean, if you want to buy something from another country, go right ahead, and pay whatever you're going to pay to get it in here. But as far as the country actually doing real trade with the U.S., it's over. And so now that trade is done, which is our financial backbone, because we're consumers, meaning all we do is consume like leeches. We don't make anything that the world needs. The world doesn't need us, and they can just close our little bases up or take control of our little bases, and then there's nothing that the military can do about it. So that's it. Game over. The only thing now is going to be is how hard are they going to push the rest of what they have left, and how many more people have to lose their lives because this administration and the U.S. government and as a whole doesn't care about people. It only cares about money and power and being on top, having control of everything. And so now that the U.S. has completely lost control of everything, even their own divisive measures, what's left? Terrible for the people who lost their lives. I felt horrible for all those children, all those little girls. They and the monsters that we're dealing with here in this country, the real terrorists, it gives them pleasure to take the lives of little girls, because it gives them pleasure to take the lives of women. So, they hate us more than anything. It doesn't matter what color you are, ma'am. We know. That's why we've all chosen the bear. The things that are going to transpire now that the Trumpkin has kicked off this war are going to be horrendous, and everyone's going to feel it. But do not be afraid. Still keep your courage and do what's right for you and your family. Now, we can always hope that there's a change in hands in the administration, but I wouldn't count on that, because I think it's the billionaire class that's behind all this, and whoever comes into power next, whoever is the next president, is probably they're probably going to do some of the dirt of the wealthy elite. So I'm not too sure. I think that this so-called experiment in democracy here in the U.S. is over, and they're just going to hang it up and see that it does not work, not the way that they enforced it anyway. This whole thing is a mess. It's never been a democracy. It's never been a republic. It's always been a fascist government. And now you got these people running around in the military telling these servicemen and women that God wants this to happen and that God is doing all of these things and making a way for them. It sounds a whole lot like the radical Islamic people to me. It sounds like you want to put women in burqas, and since you want to, take away our autonomy and we can't do anything that we want to do with our bodies, we can't have a say. And, you don't want us to be out in the workforce having great jobs and going to college and educating ourselves. You sound like the people that you claim that you're trying to give freedom to. But anyway, it's been madness these past few days, and we've just gotten into the second year of this term, and it feels like we've already completed a whole term. So who knows what's next? But no, it's going to get exponentially worse financially for you, as I've continued to stress. And I don't know where this is going to leave a lot of people as far as jobs are concerned. That's very scary. The demand is going to drop in a lot of different sectors. Trust me, I'm a barber. I know what demand and supply is all about. And there's a great supply, but the demand is dropping because people don't have disposable income to take part in those small pleasures. In some cases, they are a necessity, but the necessity shrinks as time goes on, and someone who may have gotten a haircut every week or every 2 weeks is now coming to get a haircut once a month. Once a month can turn into 3 months. 3 months can turn into 6 months. 6 months can turn into you doing it in your kitchen. So I understand that. I'm thankful for all of my clients and their patronism, because I understand how hard it is, and I haven't had a pedicure in a long, long time. And I haven't been to a masseuse in an even longer time. So I want you all who are fighting the great fight and trying to stay positive and who are on the side of righteousness to continue to stay in a positive mind frame and continue to dote on yourself a little bit. Do some self-care even at home if you have to, and make the best of your days, because they're going to become even more grim, and we're going to hear and see a lot of horrors, and there's no telling what the next turn is. We have a lot of decisions to make, you and I, as American citizens, as to what direction we want this country to go into next, as soon as we can get rid of this administration and quite possibly finish tearing down this old guard and getting rid of these ancient ways of wickedness and bring a new reality into existence, where it's a very dangerous time, but very critical that we pay attention and try to make the right moves. There's no room for error now. You're going to have to be on your game. There's no room for error. You're going to have to stick to what you do know and listen to those who might know a little more, and take their word into consideration so that you can make better decisions. Things are going to get extremely hard. You're going to have to live with family that you probably can't even stand to look at. You're going to have to pool resources with people who you don't even know their last names. So this is where we are, and this is what's coming, and we're going to have to take care of ourselves and one another, and but not in a naive type of way. You're going to have to build boundaries and keep them very tightly. So there's so much more that I want to talk about this subject, about what's going on in the world, what's going on with the economy, this war. I mean, we can see it unfold. There is precedent for this. If there's someone out there who is jumping up and down and screaming about how can he do this, how can he do this, it's easy. It's easy. You know, there were presidents, George W. Bush comes to my mind, because that's, he's one that I grew up under. I was a young adult when he was in power, and he did this in Iraq. He didn't ask for the Congress to bless this. He said, he just went on and did it, and then we put ourselves in a conflict. So, a precedent has already been set for the president to take matters into his own hands and disregard the Congress. Wasn't it Lindsey Graham, who is a lawmaker, who said that President Trump had the right to do whatever he wanted and they would be behind it? So there, if you have a lawmaker standing for the other lawmakers that are in power, and he says that this is what he wants and this is what he agrees with and this is what it is, then you know that the lawmakers as a whole, the ones that have the power anyway, have already made their decision. And it doesn't matter what you think and it doesn't matter what you say, because they've already handed the reins of power. My apologies for the interruption. Technical difficulties. It's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. So back where we were talking about, precedent has already been set for our rulers or our presidents to bypass Congress and do what it is that they want to do. They might give it a different name. They might call it something different. They'll call it a police action or a response or something like that. Anything else but a war. But this idiot and his group of idiots, they're constantly calling it a war. So that means that they have completely gone on and done what they wanted to do, and this is a war, whether they want to paint it a different way or not. They just keep digging a hole bigger and bigger for themselves to jump into. But yeah, and President Bush wasn't the only one to do this. There were others. I think President Carter was another. I could be wrong. There are several. You know, what President Obama allowed to happen in Libya wasn't too far off either. They just went in and destroyed that place for no apparent reason other than Muammar Gaddafi said, hey, I want to price my oil in the dinar, and I want to get paid in the dinar, and I'm backing the dinar in gold, and I'm going to continue to fight for my people. And America said no and blew that place away. And now all of those people and all of the progress that was made there has been cast into the dust of time. And who knows if and when they'll be able to rebuild. So we have lots of examples of what these people do, and they don't care about their constitution. They don't care about their own rules, their own laws, and their own shit anyway. They're always down to break a treaty, so that's nothing new. Anybody who goes into a treaty with the U.S. is stupid because they have all of history to prove that they don't hold to their treaties. Like I said earlier, there's so much more to unpack here and to talk about. I'm going to really work hard at trying to make daily posts, even if they're just shorts, something, help maybe some explanations of things that people might not understand, or things that may be happening that people that I hear are in a gray area about. Maybe we'll talk on those some more. So many things that I've talked about in the past are coming to fruition now that it's hard to get up with them and then get more in depth with them because they unfold right before our eyes. And most people are keeping up. I think a lot of people are silent because we have, different groups doing different things. The Black community, we're sitting silent because none of this is new to us. This is just the regular way of life. And we wish for change. And so anything outside of this devil that we know is going to be a curious welcome because it can't be any worse than this. History from hundreds of thousands of years have proven that it can't be any worse than this. So you have other groups, they're totally shocked because they can't believe it's happening to them, even though, yes, of course it's going to happen to you because you made it happen to us, and it's going to backfire on you. You're going to get what you give, and sometimes in greater number. So, and that's in good and bad. So if you're ugly, you all the way ugly. I'm going to cut it there, though. It's been nice talking to you all, and I thank you for coming down to the Queendom and hanging out with me for a little while. Remember, get with your people, your friends, your family, your loved ones, people that you appreciate, respect, and care about, and talk about these everyday problems and find real solutions to these everyday issues that plague us. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.